Hey, good morning, everyone. So we're back at it again, looking at some Hacker Rank SQL. So I realized something the other day on the previous video that I made, and what I realized was that the order that I'm doing it might seem a bit funny, but the order that I'm following is this specific order that it's given to me here. So as you can see, it says select query 1, 2, select all, select by ID, and so on. I'm just gonna follow this just for simplicity, but it might seem out of order. I know some other people do some filters and then they'll follow whatever order it's provided in. But anyways, yeah, thank you for joining me again. So this time around, we're gonna take a look at the revising the select query 2, and we're also gonna take a look at the select all um, task or problem. So let's begin with the select all question. So for this specific question, it says query all columns attributes for each row in the city table. The city table is described as follows. So we have a table named city. We have these specific fields, which, as we went over in the previous video, are the columns. And then here it describes what type of information it's holding. So field ID, it's holding a number. Name is holding a string or a varchar. Uh, that's maximum 17 for length. Country code, district, and then population is a number. So the way that I like to begin all of my tasks within SQL is that I like to write select from where, or at least in the beginning I did. Um, you probably in some cases will remove the where, but that's okay. It's just I would advise just to do this in the start. So for this specific one, I want all columns. To get all the columns, we can list all the columns that are listed here. So we could do select ID, name, country, code, district, and population from the table, which is city, and where there is no condition here, so we can remove where. So if we run this, it should be correct. So we have passed it, we got the right answer. But there's another way to do this, and this was also covered in the previous video. So I apologize for repeating myself, but it's a very important thing, at least in the beginning when we're learning how to use SQL. So we can do select asterisk, and by doing the asterisk, we're calling every single column, and we don't have to list it. So we do that. Here we go. We get all of the columns and all of the data. So we're just going to submit it. Good job. So this is a nice little warm-up to prepare us for the revising the select query 2. So now we're going to jump over to this one. So now we're going to begin by jumping in with revising the select query 2 question. So here it's asking us to query the name field for all American cities in the city table with populations larger than 120,000. The country code for America is USA. We're using the same table that we were using previously, which is a city table. So one suggestion that I do have when working with some of these questions is always, before you even write anything, try to visualize what you're trying to pull out from the data. So here we're trying to pull the name field, so this specific column, where it's this condition and this condition are true. And I suggest that because sometimes when you just get excited and you start writing, you might go on a roundabout way of pulling out some of this information, which might not be as useful. So let's begin. So we go select from where, and again, we're doing name. So select name from, we're working with the city table, where, and then now we do the conditions. So population must be greater than 120,000. One thing to note here is if we wanted to include a city that holds 120,000, we would do greater than or equal to. but since it says larger than 120,000, we are not going to include that equal to it, so it will only include cities that have 120,001. Okay, so now we're going to do country code is USA. Actually, this is and. So when working with different conditions, we can do the and or the or. So in this scenario, we need and because we don't want, we need to satisfy both. We don't want one that only satisfies one and not the other. So if we had or, it would give us a row if it satisfied either this condition or the condition where it equals USA. But in this scenario, we want it to satisfy both. So we're going to do and. And since this column is a string, we're going to have to include quotes, so USA, and be very careful because this is not the same result as this. And as we can see, it's all caps. Okay, so now we're going to hit run and let's see what we get. All right, so this has been a success, and it looks like it's all good. So we're going to submit it. All right, thank you so much for joining me. That is it for revising the Select Query 2. In the next video, I'm going to be working on some of the further questions. I'm going to take a quick look just to just point out which ones we'll be working on. So we have done Select Query 1, Select Query 2, Select All. So in the next video, I'll probably tackle the next three. So I'll do Select by ID, Japanese cities attributes, and Japanese cities names. All right, thanks so much. See you around. Bye.